Hey folks, Rob back with another Rob Plays, and we're back on the spectrum this week with a look at good old 3D Starstrike, which was developed and published in 1984 by Realtime Software. And I don't want the demo stuff because I want to dive in. Gibson joystick. Let's play it on easy. Now, Starstrike, of course, as you can tell, is basically Realtime's attempt at taking on the Star Wars arcade game. They'd done their first, I think it was their first game, 3D Tank Duel. Did a similar sort of thing for Battlezone, so they went one step further. But I kind of like this for a couple of reasons. The first thing is, it streamlines certain aspects of the gameplay a bit. And I kind of like the fact that it's a little friendlier in terms of your shielding. You know, Star Wars, you can take 9 hits and you're dead. Here you've got the shield bar you can see in the bottom left. But the plot is basically Earth is under attack by a group called the Outsiders, creative, and they've basically decimated the Earth fleets, and the Federation in charge of Earth is pretty much knackered. So it comes down to you taking charge of a new Starstrike fighter, and taking the fight to the Outsiders and their bases built around moons. A bit like a certain arcade game, am I right? So we had the first section where you blast your way through the fighters. Now we're on the surface blasting the gun emplacements. And let's get to that third section, which should be coming up. Yeah, now we've got to do the catwalks and begin the run in the equatorial ducts. And again, you know, it's all like that arcade game based on a certain classic 70s space opera movie. And anyway. So you look at the bottom, you've got your shield levels. You know, I like the fact that you actually have a shield bar rather than a distinct number of hits. You've got your level, your status, I think that's about when your shields are critical. Then you've got your lasers, which actually you have to let recharge. Controls are sensible here, pilot controls. Then again, I play flight sims. And now we've got the last section, the reactor chamber. And here you just need to blast those 2 squares. And I've done it. Yeah, stage 1 is done. And then we get our fancy pants sequence. And watch the first moon explode. With little 3D chunks too. And we warp. We're now warping. And we're on approach to second base. I mean, I love, you know, and I've said many times on this channel that I love good arcade games. And I love games that, you know, push their host hardware really well. And Starstrike to me certainly does that. It's a very simple pick up and play game. It's got some really nice graphics for 84. And I did realise while I was watching it load, I actually had to load it several times because the tape image I was using didn't like my div IDE. Oh, that's a bit of a pain. But now I have one that works, so yay. But basically, you know, the cover has Oliver Frey doing the cover art for it. It's actually pretty amazing. Alright, second pass on the surface run, and we've got the towers like in Star Wars. And we can now see we've got, well, it said we had to take 15 out. We've now got 9 to go because I like to think I'm a good Starstrike pilot. I think I'm doing a lot better at this than I would at Star Wars. I'm so glad I have my Spectrum AV modded. Because, truth be honest, it's really convenient to hook this sucker up and play. Then pull my 128K Spectrum out, grab the SCART converter that I have, and get all that stuff up and running. And here it's just like, nope, hook it up, play it. Really convenient. I just wish the picture quality was better. I think this is eating my SSD up for recording. Anyway, let's dodge the catwalks again. So I will have to look at Starstrike 2 eventually. I've been wanting that on my games list for a while. And of course, Realtime would go on to design Carrier Command and Battle Command. And probably also also handled the specky conversion of Starglider, which I think was where they got a lot of buzz from for that. Yeah, this is just like, it's such a great, feels a little more straightforward than the Star Wars cabinet. Yeah, we've taken it out, cool. And I like the fact that it's actually a little more colourful with its vectors than Star Wars is. Star Wars really only used a couple of colours, and I guess that's limitations of its arcade hardware. you know, the vector systems that Atari used. Here, you know, you've got a full micro and you can push it pretty well. It's actually a really good game. It has to be said though, now the third stage hasn't really added much, just a couple more enemies. I do like in Star Wars how when you start getting to later enemies, you have Darth Vader's TIE Fighter appearing, and it does a lot more damage. You know, you can't destroy it, you can just hit it and it diverts for a bit. I like those additions. I mean, the ships are certainly more lethal here. I mean, you can see I've lost a lot more shield. Yeah, now I've gone to yellow phase because they keep shooting me and I'm not good at avoiding them. Alright. 15 tower tops again. I love I missed the one that's really obvious. 7 to go. Oh, guns recharge. Yeah, see, I like you can't just hold the fire button down here. You've got to pause occasionally, because otherwise you run out of juice for your lasers, and that is very, very terrible. Alright, 1 to go. Alright, we've got the bonus. Now let's just focus on clearing blasts. The blasts are a little bit simple compared to Star Wars. I kind of dig them. The fireballs in Star Wars were really elaborate, and I think that was to their detriment. Alright. I don't know if that's going to come through, but yeah, I'm sorry if it does. Other people's phones at home. Can't be mine, because mine is busy recording. You know, I'm using my iPhone to do the footage here, and I've got a nice new microphone to actually handle the speech here, rather than using a lapel mic. I've got a little, I wasn't worried I wasn't going to line up with that. But I got it. Cool. Stage 3 done. Yeah, but I've got a new microphone here, and I think it should sound better, at least my quick test run before I record. And I'm recording this on the week before I start a new job, so goodbye freelance life. And I basically have a week off, which I just wanted to use to do some backfire related things and get and try and just get a bunch of videos together for this month, because I really want to work on a scripted review, which I haven't started yet. I was going to do another game that I'll do eventually, but there's some information that I'm not satisfied enough to be 100% on about that game before I commit to it. So I'm going to go off another game that I was probably going to save for later, but I may as well do it now. I already have a bunch of stuff. I just need to start scripting and probably capture some footage, but also, being the end of February, summer has decided to take a small diversion and start being rather hot the first week of March. Sorry, Simpsons joke. Lousy March weather, or lousy Smarch weather. Okay. So yeah. Anyway. Well, we're on the 4th. Are we on the 3rd or 4th? I can't even remember what level I'm on. I'm just having such a fun time with 3D Starstrike. I just enjoy this so much more than Star Wars. And unlike the Spectrum version of Star Wars, it has sound. I love that. Realtime I think it helps that Realtime clamped the play area a bit. Star Wars arcade game has a bit more screen real estate being used, even on the Spectrum. Let's do this. We've got all the top. Yeah. Oh, level 4, and we're dead now. 676,400. That's a pretty good run. And I'm going to call it a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you're enjoying me doing Spectrum games interleaved amongst the C64, the Plus 4, Atari, 8-bit, the Amiga. Hopefully one or two other machines will add throughout the year. But, yeah, I'll continue to throw stuff out as always. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know this got a conversion to the CPC, I think. I know Starstrike 2 did. But yeah, if you played it, you know, have a spin. It's worth noting that if you don't want to mess around with emulators and stuff, Spectaculator, well, you don't want to mess around with doing all the downloady stuff. Spectaculator on iOS and Android has this as one of the games you can buy, and that's how I played a chunk of it until I actually got my Spectrum. I kind of like that, you can still buy those games for like a little cheap amount, and I kind of like supporting those, as long as it's all done properly and the developers are being paid. So yeah, leave your thoughts. As always, I love hearing from people who are like, I love hearing from people. I love having the conversation. I love chatting about this old stuff. It's why I do videos. I kind of don't like the retweet if you remember something. I'd rather like talk about why I think a game is special. So that's what I do these for. So yeah, definitely love to hear those. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do consider doing so. It's always great to have more people coming in, stopping by, watching these, having a chat, enjoying these looks at old games. I try to try to do a good look at them. I try and do them justice. I don't want to be a ranty type of person. And with that, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.